Hello and welcome to the channel. This series is going to be on the revival, not restoration, of this Mark III 2.8 Capri. This was a barn find car in a bit of a state, and this series is going to be showing you what I've been doing with this Capri as we move along trying to get it back on the road. Now then, at the present time you can see that it's not looking too good, but it is a lot better than it has been, which I will show you pictures of as we go along. So a brief little history on this one. At the time I had a red Mark III Capri, which I will show pictures of occasionally, which I had built a 24 valve V6 Cosworth with a 6-speed RX-8 gearbox, and as you do, you're searching around for bits and pieces, and one of these bits and pieces was one of these. Now, at the time this was in a real state, and it was literally in a barn, so I've come up with the idea of maybe we've got to rescue this thing. So managed to pick it up probably about 2 years ago, and it's been sitting around a little bit, although I have been doing bits and pieces to the thing, and after investigation, digging around, soon found out that it was quite a rotten car, and it obviously had a hard life. You'll see in some of the pictures that I'll show you the state it was in and the colour it was, because this is its original colour. I managed to take all the paint off it to get it to this. So the idea with this vehicle is that it's not going to be restored. It was in a bit of a state, as I've mentioned. A lot of the parts were missing, so this is going to have a roll cage in it, and that basically means we're going to go racing. So this car's going to be there or thereabouts, but it's not going to be perfect, and that's the whole idea of this project. It's not a restoration, it's more a revival of the car back on the road. And so let's go around the car and I'll show you what's happened so far. So with vehicles that have lost most of their bits and are pretty rotten, you generally have to go and find these things, usual places to go and find these things. But I managed to get quite a lot of the bits and pieces, and we're starting to put the thing back together again a little bit. I still have some welding to do. So what was going on with this vehicle is that the entire front end had been cut off it. So all the front valance was with the car, but all bent out of shape. So first things to do is to gather the other bits and pieces, so bonnets and wings. The doors and the rear hatch were with the car, so that was quite handy in that regard. And then it's down to sort of the quality of the parts. So as I said, this is a revival really, it's not a restoration. So we try and do things on a budget around here because there isn't a lot of spare cash. So these front wings are second hand, and they were pattern parts, so they're quite thin, but you know, they'll do. A bonnet was acquired. It was there or thereabouts, so that would do the job. The rims I already had, and the rest of the car was kind of there with the rear axle and all the front suspension related bits and pieces, but I've managed to get some other parts. So we got some Gaz front struts, rose jointed track control arms, all poly brushed front. The rear end is a rebuilt, but I didn't video unfortunately, with a limited slip diff, crown wheel pinion, new bearings. Got 4-pot calipers that are going to go on the front, but the main thing so far is to get it to this point was to deal with the structural integrity of the car. So all the outer and inner seals are gone, lower rear arches, the lower A-pillars, all pretty much all basically rotten. So this has also had, you'll see in some of the videos, the rear chassis rails. Managed to get a pair of decent second-hand ones of those, so they're in the car now, and we're now getting to a point where we're starting to get it together. So that driver's side corner was the worst area, because this is a sunroof model. All the drains basically were all blocked up over the years, and it's obviously rotted it all away. So that rear side there was very bad. So there was no sachet rail there, where the rear leaf spring mounts. The inner and outer and floor section there had all rotted away. With this side, weirdly, is not so bad, although there is a little hole. One of the last things I need to do is to sort out this rear seal and a bit of the inner, but that's all good. The lower end of the floor, A-pillar, inner seal areas, they're pretty rotten away, and all the front inner wings, which is usual for Capris, they were in a bit of a bad shape. So done all that so far. This side, as I said, was the worst. So this has had a seal on it, all the that corner of the floor, rear quarter. It's now got some strength, which is really, really good. So the next step now was to turn it around in this, which is our budget shed, budget garage. Very handy thing, actually, to be honest with you, if you don't actually have a garage or workshop to do anything in. This, it keeps it reasonably dry. So next step is to get it back in there the other way around, and then we can start fitting out the engine bay and getting that together. So yeah, we're getting to the point now where we're actually going to be putting the thing together rather than just putting new fresh metal into it. So as we go along with updated videos, I won't be going in depth into what or how I'm doing the work to the vehicle. You'll just see bits and pieces of what I'm currently working on, and a little brief description as into what's going on. There's plenty of other videos out there, video creators that are like going into depth into these things. So I'll just show you the bits and pieces of what's going on at the time. So yes, I've managed to gather quite a bit of parts, new parts, decent second-hand parts for this thing. We will go through and I will show you the build of the vehicle as we go along. Obviously we still need to paint the thing, but I think we're going to go with a budget on that. And we sort of see what it looks like. It's not meant to be looking really brilliant, so we go from there and see what happens. So that's the intro video for this project, this series. The name of the game with this is On a Budget, so Capriing on a budget. We see what we can do, but it can sort of show what you can do with not a lot of money. Rather than brand new shiny parts that you spend thousands on, that a lot of us can't really afford. We'll see what we can do with this, with bits and pieces that we find on the way. When we get towards putting the mechanical stuff back on, I would describe what's going on and the reasons behind it. as the videos pass by, but it should be a nice little project, this one. With healthy and decent running gear and engine and the like. So I'll show you and describe to you the reasons for these decisions, and hopefully we can get something looking really half decent and running quite well. Anyway, that's the end of this introduction video, and hopefully see you on the next one.